Hello, Scott Davis from the Morning Breach here with another MSP Spotlight here on Monday. Today, I have Josh Hinkle, the President and CEO with Splashwire out of Central Pennsylvania with us. Good morning, Josh.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing well. Thank you for taking some time and joining. If you could, let's just jump right into it. Can you tell the audience a little bit about Splashwire and what you're doing?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Splashwire is located here in Central Pennsylvania, as you said. Ironically, in 2020, we're celebrating our 20th year with COVID. We haven't had a whole lot of chances to talk about that, but we're hoping to finish up 2020 telling people we've been here for 20 years. We were founded, built on service, and that's really still our cornerstone of what we do. Since then, we've evolved our footprint beyond Central Pennsylvania to the Mid-Atlantic, and we've developed our own data center to provide more niche data center solutions to complement our service. Through all that, security has come right along with that. And really, any service or solution that we work on today has to be security focused and make sure that we're protecting our clients.
That's awesome. You're one of the few MSPs that I'm aware of that actually run and host your own data center, as sometimes the cost can be pretty high in getting one of those established and set up. So definitely kudos to that. And I've seen a lot of great things coming from Splashwire over the last few months and the last couple years. To kind of dig into the next one, what are the current cyber threats that you're seeing out in the wild?
Yeah, I would say that it's got to be malware leading with a lot of the things that we're seeing right now. And I think it's really driven from COVID and the push to people to work from home. It's an easy avenue to infect computers and find access to corporate domains. Your more traditional things like firewall scans definitely have not gone away. We're still seeing a significant amount of people out scanning public IP addresses, looking at firewalls, trying to find vulnerabilities. But with everybody going home, particularly on short notice and fairly unexpected, there's a lot of businesses that have been left exposed who don't necessarily have security measures in place for all those machines in a remote work environment. So targeted emails, phishing campaigns, and malware, they're just infecting the endpoint and finding their way into corporate networks.
Malware, ransomware, definitely, big things. I think every federal agency, every nonprofit organization, every compliance organization is talking about phishing, ransomware. A lot of news even coming in the election area on that malware and how to make sure the election stays safe on that. But how does your MSP analyze and help protect clients from these threats?
Yeah, great question. For Splashwire, the one thing we try and lead with first and foremost is having a strategy. You can have all the solutions in the world, but you got to have a strategy and a posture for what you want security to look like and how you want to provide that protection. Everybody's needs are different, their data is different, their infrastructure is different. So it's really got to start with strategy and talking with our clients about where they find the greatest risks. Once you get into the strategy, we have a layered approach. As everybody knows, it's not one single technology that's gonna protect you. You got to have a good firewall. You got to have email security protecting you from phishing attempts, antivirus patching, the whole way down through internal vulnerability and endpoint protection scanning. That is just a big deal these days, particularly leveraging artificial intelligence and making sure that we can combat those threats real time. One of the things that the threat actors are really gaining some traction on in my mind, and I think that's going to really lead us moving forward, is leveraging artificial intelligence and more powerful machines to attack and do those things. So it's a layered approach. It's all those items. I can't emphasize patching enough with all the good security in the world with people working remotely. If they have machines left unpatched and they're vulnerable, that's an avenue into the network that circumvents all the good hard work and money spent to protect the entity.
You bring up two great points there. One, patching. And I remember my time being in the MSP space, everything was done on a schedule. And with everyone working from home, these schedules that these computers may be running, the computer may not be on. So it's critical for MSPs out there to make sure that the patching cycles are updated to the point that even if the computer's not on, the patching is being done. And the second point you made, and I absolutely love it because I think I've been talking about it for years, but tiering your security strategy. You can't just have one product, one service, and think that your security answers are, answered, because they're not. You have to tier your security. So that is absolutely great advice. Thank you very much. What is something that you encourage every business owner to do, even if they're not your customer?
I think it's got to start with a free risk analysis. You don't know what you don't know, right? It's an old adage, and it applies to security and infrastructure more than it ever has. Is get a free risk analysis, see what your solutions look like, find out what your risks are. If you start there, you can have an informed decision about what needs to be done. You can prioritize. You can develop that security strategy that you talked about, but it's definitely a risk analysis. Find out what you know, confirm it, find out what you don't know, and make sure that's part of your game plan and your strategy moving forward. Your IT risk these days is one of your greatest risks, and it needs to be treated as such, no different than any other part of the business.
No, absolutely. Security audits, doing those checks, you're absolutely right. I like using the analogy of, you may spend all this time and energy looking at the front door, making sure that it's locked, but meanwhile, the key is underneath the mat by the back door, and it doesn't help you. And bringing that third party in really opens up the insight because now it's someone looking at your network that doesn't know anything about what security places you have in. They're just looking at the normal areas that you keep the key to your door. The fake rock under the mat, etc.
Yeah.
As far as future casting, and I hate saying it's future casting or predicting because God knows what 2021 is going to bring, but kind of what do you envision is the biggest cyber threat we're going to face in 2021?
Well, I think we can all agree that we're hoping 2021 is better than 2020. So, with that being said, I don't see a slowdown on how the threat actors decide to target businesses. I think it's just going to continue, and they're going to be more aggressive as the machines and the systems get faster and artificial intelligence gets better. They're just going to keep pounding away at trying to find avenues in. And the one thing we have to remember in technology is every time there's a tool available to us to help us do our jobs, that same tool is available to those threat actors. So as we're excited about automation and artificial intelligence and some of those things on our end, on the threat actor side, it's available to them as well, right? So I don't see a slowdown in those type of attacks. I would just say that I think to the businesses, it's time, if you haven't already, to create that posture, get the free risk analysis, take a look at where your risks are, where your strengths are, and create a strategy to help mitigate that the best that they can.
Awesome. And the last question, how can someone get a hold of you and learn more about Splashwire?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. Splashwire.com is our website. You can go out to our website. We have contact forms to fill out and call our main number, and 717-724-0537. Live people answering the telephone, responding, following up. That's one of the things that we've done for the 20 years, and I think we'll continue doing that, is getting live people on the phone and responding to you and seeing how we can help.
Josh, thank you very much for joining with me today. Great insight, great conversation. With that, really thank you. And remember, as it is Cybersecurity Month, just to remain and be cyber smart. Thanks for watching.